Friends, colleagues, enemies, you know who you are. We've all talked a lot today, and indeed all quarter, about Steven Spielberg and his illustrious filmmaking career. We've seen the man bring dinosaurs to life, show us that maybe we're not alone in the universe, and even illuminate for us a young Bruce Wayne's love of flying machines. If there's one thing we've all learned, it's that Steven Spielberg's cinematic ambitions are limitless. Which brings us to Minority Report. Oh, Minority Report, what are we to make of you?
Released to generally positive reviews in 2002, the film is arguably a product of its era. Hollywood had moved comfortably back into a cycle of enormous blockbusters with big-budget, action-oriented, highly stylized spectacles raking in the big bucks for the major studios.
2002, the year Minority Report hit theaters, saw the release of several landmark genre blockbusters, including Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Spider-Man, Die Another Day, Star Wars Episode 2, The Bourne Identity, and Signs, just to name a few. Not one to shy away from popular cinema trends, our old buddy Steven Spielberg saw fit to enter the arena with two distinctly different but equally stylized films, Catch Me If You Can and Minority Report. In classic Spielberg fashion, however, old Stevie wasn't satisfied with making a completely straightforward genre film with Minority Report. No, the Berg had to push the film over the top.
Oh my gosh, are you okay?
Minority Report is unquestionably a film inspired by the classic tropes found in genre films of old. But unlike Indiana Jones, which relied on a single, well-defined genre, in this case pulp serials, Minority Report pulls its inspiration from not one, not two, but three different distinct filmic genres: film noir, science fiction, and action. In attempting to capture the essences of these three divergent genres, however, Minority Report fails to reach the heights of any of them. A cursory viewing of the film is enough to catch the different genres at play in Minority Report. The premise, as taken from a Philip K. Dick short story of the same name, is classic science fiction through and through.
In the year 2054, an elite branch of the Washington, D.C. police force known as the Pre-Crime Unit are tasked with stopping violent crimes before they are committed by relying on mutated humans known as precogs that are able to see into the future.
I mean, from that description alone, the sci-fi nerd in me is taking a burst from his inhaler out of pure excitement. Other elements, like the dystopian backdrop of future DC, and much of the technology used throughout the film, clearly denote its understanding of science fiction tropes. Stylistically, however, the film appears to draw from two different styles entirely.
From the very look of the film itself to how the plot develops, there's an undeniable homage to film noir, which Spielberg himself has claimed to thoroughly enjoy. The film was reportedly desaturated 40% to create an almost black and white look, a nod to the classic black and white style of old noir films like The Maltese Falcon. In addition to coloration changes, Spielberg employed low-key contrastive lighting in order to populate scenes with shadows.
The plot itself, a high-stakes whodunit, also feels distinctly noir, with our hero thrust into a murder mystery of sorts that changes his whole world. While the plot and look of the film are certainly noir-inspired, the movement of the film can be categorically defined as action-packed. The second act of Minority Report is, for lack of a better phrase, a real roller coaster ride. The action is fast and gripping, the fight scenes are hard-hitting, and the danger feels real.
It should come as no surprise to those who've seen the film that only a week separated the release of Minority Report and The Bourne Identity. The pulse-pounding action in these twin films feels distinctly of their time.
With all these potentially conflicting genre elements in play, unfortunately the film doesn't quite hit that sweet spot it was aiming for.
Along with those big genre blockbusters, the early 2000s were also a time for filmmakers to try and combine dissimilar genres.
In 2002 alone, films like Adaptation and Punch Drunk Love proved that fusing genres could result in exciting film experiences. But with Minority Report, the problem was not that Spielberg tried to fuse genres. It was that Spielberg aimed to push all three genres to their biggest point simultaneously. When making a mixed genre film, some stylistic sacrifices must be made in order to find true originality. Spielberg, I suppose it could be said, flew too close to the sun with all three genres without realizing that certain elements of the genres counteract each other.
He knows. Don't go home.
By its very nature, noir films are fairly quiet and dark to facilitate mystery and allure. With the action at play in the film, that noir sensibility is out the window. Similarly, much of science fiction relies on turning a mirror on today's world and revealing truth.
Science has stolen most of our miracles. In a way, they give us hope. Hope of the existence of the divine.
While there is some of that in the very beginning and very end of the film, the action-packed second act moves far too quickly and senselessly to enable introspection.
Now, Minority Report is by no means a bad film. Objectively, the film is a marvel in many senses, but by forcing the blockbuster mentality onto the film, it's never able to fulfill its grand potential.